Hi, everybody. It's Paul from Propel Media. We are experiencing some strange times right now with this global impact on our lives. Like every business owner, every good business owner, when you have some extra time, the first thing that comes to mind is, "Hey, I need to upgrade my marketing," or "How do I make my website work better?" Well, you've come to the right place because over the next little bit here, I'm going to share 14 tips that is going to help you understand your website a little bit better. We're going to actually give you some ideas and some things to actually do on your website. So, without further ado, here we go. Let's make this just a bit smaller. Perfect. So today we're going to talk about upping the security on your website. I get a lot of customers that contact me and say, "Hey, I'm getting a lot of email spam. I'm getting a lot of stuff going on my website." So I'm going to give you a couple things that you can do to help with that. So before I get into this, I should point out that I am going to be sharing my videos from a WordPress dashboard. So if you have a WordPress site, these things are going to be directly applicable to you. If you use a different platform, I'm very well versed in Squarespace or Wix or GoDaddy or any other website platform, Shopify. I have some things that we can discuss there too. If that's you and these tips are interesting to you, but they don't apply because you don't use WordPress, just reach out to me and I'll make a custom video for you if you need, and we'll get you on your way. So the first thing I'm going to do is I got to log into my website here. Important to note here, I don't use a typical WordPress login will be wp-admin or wp-login or wp login. The malicious people out there know this, and that's the first login they try to use. So we can just kind of eliminate a whole pile of that nonsense right away by having a different login. And that's where we'll start. So if you're a customer of mine, this is your login, your website slash WP, sorry, your website slash PM dash access. So we'll go there. Next, we have to log in. And so we look over here on the left-hand side, and this is the dashboard, the WordPress dashboard. And where we will find that login thing is actually in our plugins. So if we click on the plugins, this one here is actually called WPS Hide Login. If this wasn't on your website currently, you would just go to the top here and click on Add New. And then you could search Hide Login. The first one that comes up is this one. I chose this one for myself and all my customers because it has the most installations and the highest rating. So we obviously can't install it, but if we didn't have it, this would say install now, just like this one. We click on that and then we're good to go. So the first thing we need to do is or understand is that this plugin is quite light on your website. It's not going to slow down your website or do any crazy stuff on your website. It doesn't add any special tools here in your dashboard. So where we'll find that is actually back in the plugins section. So we click on that. And then we can actually just click on settings. It's one way to get there. So here we can actually change what we have designated as our login URL. So you need to have something there. So you could call it your website.ca slash pink elephant, or elephants are the best, or save planet Earth, or whatever you want. It doesn't matter, just as long as you remember it. And then we click on save changes and we're all set. So that's how you change your login. Very, very cool. The next thing we're going to talk about is ReCAPTCHA. So on contact forms on your website, if you're experiencing a lot of spam, a lot of junk, um, a lot of people trying to sell you Viagra or mail order brides or stuff like that, we can eliminate a lot of that communication by enabling ReCAPTCHA. So the first thing we would do is actually go to, and you can just Google ReCAPTCHA. And the first link should be, yep, so here we go. So it's called ReCAPTCHA. ReCAPTCHA is basically going to help us get rid of bots and spammy junk. So we go to admin console. It's going to ask you to log in with your admin login for Google. So you're basically your Gmail account. I'm going to add a new one here. And I will call this Propel Media, media site. I like to use the V3 because it's less taxing on the users. In fact, they don't even know it's there. We go to propelmedia.ca. You can put the www and all that kind of jazz in the front if you want. Doesn't really matter. Propelmedia.ca is it. The owner will be myself. I have read and accept the terms of services. I've already done that. And I'll click on submit. So now it's giving us a site key and a secret key. So for the sake of this demonstration, I'm actually going to use these, but I will have to delete them after the fact. So on my website, I actually use Divi, and this is going to be different for all the different mail systems that you use, but I use Divi, and Divi, we can actually use that on the front end. So if you have a Divi website, you can just click on Enable Visual Builder. Whoops. Let's go to the contact page first. Let's go to the contact page, Enable Visual Builder, and I will just scroll down a little bit here. Scroll over the box here, and we'll click on the settings, and we'll scroll down here just a little bit further, and we'll go spam protection. I want to use a spam protection service, so I'm going to use ReCAPTCHA. I'm going to create an account, and the account name is found over here, which was, well, let's do these here first. So let's do the site key, because the site key has to come in here, and then the secret key, and we go in here. And we called this Propel Media Site, I believe. And we submit that. So we are all set to go. That's really all you need to do for Divi. I'm going to exit this after I save it. A lot of you will be using a plugin called Contact Form. Contact Form 7. So if we go back to the dashboard and go to plugins, Contact Form 7 is kind of a default. It's very, very simple to use. I'm going to install it here just for the sake of this video, Contact Form 7. And we'll install that. There's WP forms that have ReCAPTCHA integration. There's also Forminator, which has ReCAPTCHA integrations, all that kind of stuff. I'm not going to go through every one of them because we'd be here every day or all day. But I'll show you Contact Form 7 because that's also a very popular one. So if we go to Settings, so under Plugins, we go to Settings. And then here in the top here it says getting spammed. We have your protection, boom, 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 boom. There's already one contact form down here just by default. So let's go to ReCAPTCHA. We can also get it under, once we go to contact, we can go to integrations. And then we will set up the ReCAPTCHA here, which is the site key and the secret key that we got back here. So you import those in there, bing, bang, boom, you save it, and you're all set. So I figure this is a good start for us. And if you have any questions about any of that stuff, again, if you're using a different platform, just reach out. I'm going to give you, just for listening for this long, I'm going to give you a bonus little hoo-ha here. So if we go back to plugins, we can go to installed plugins. I'm going to get rid of this here just for now. I want to talk to you about a security kind of monitoring plugin that you can use. It's totally free, super easy to set up. They have great support. You can use a paid version if you want. For me, it's called WordPress. I use the free version because it does a lot of what we want. Sorry, WordFence does a lot of what we want. So if you logged into your website and you have WordFence already, great. WordFence I install on every one of my websites because it tells me if there's any issues with the website. It tells me if there's any plugins that are outdated that need updating. It tells me if the website goes down, if there's ever any issues with the hosting or anything like that. Tells me about issues with the domains as well. So I install this on every one of my customers' websites just so it keeps an eye on things and I get an email right away when there's issues. If you wanted to add it to your website, you would go to plugins, click on add new, and here we can just search WordFence. And obviously I've had it installed, so we would just click on install now, and it's very simple to use. It has a whole pile of installations and really high ratings, so very good thing to have to monitor. So to recap, we have a plugin that helps us with to hide our login, so that will get rid of a whole lot of junk right there. We installed a plugin that helps you with your spam protection on your contact forms. And we also have a plugin that allows that will monitor your website for any issues. So I went through this really fast and I wanted this to be a good one. So if there's any questions about anything at all, comment on this, send me an email, whatever. If you just are using a different platform other than WordPress and wanted some advice on that, by all means, send me a message. You can reach me here with my phone number and my email, and you can also just fill out a contact form on my website. So thanks for watching. That's video number 1 of our being cooped up, hiding from Corona. So we will see you tomorrow for the next one.